Hello again, friends, and welcome again to my wine cellar for another installment of Doc G's Wine and Spirits Review. Today's review is going to be a follow-up. It's going to be episode 2 of our Wines of the Week. As you can see here on the table, I have 3 wines to feature for you today. And again, I'm trying to stick to my promise to try to keep them as available as possible to you here for my friends in Pennsylvania and for the rest of you who are not from Pennsylvania. So by the time I'm done sharing these with you, I think you'll understand that these are fairly available to you no matter where you are. So let's begin. Cheers and welcome. Today, I'd like to feature 3 wines for you. Again, a white, a rosé, and a red. All of them, frankly, you could even use the red today with the coming Labor Day holiday. If you remember, we kind of christened this whole operation back on Memorial Day by sharing with you a Zinfandel to get ready for your barbecues. Well, with Labor Day approaching, that same process is coming. And unfortunately, this is breaking my heart, that summer is about to come to a close. So the wines that I am featuring for you today should give you one more blast for the summer. So let me outline the wines first, and then we'll take each one of them individually. The first one is a wine from Portugal. It's called Aveleda. It's a Vinho Verde. The second wine we'll feature today is a rosé from a winery not too far from here in the Lehigh Valley called Galen. And as far as the red comes all the way to us from northwestern Spain. So let's begin. And this is the one that I have in my glass here to start. We're going to start with a wine called Aveleda. And this is a Vinho Verde. And Vinho Verde is a region in Portugal. It's in the northern part of the Portuguese countryside. And let me talk a little bit about Vinho Verdes before I get into this one specifically. I can tell you that I'm not really going to get in depth into the type of grapes that I would normally do if we were just featuring this region, because quite frankly, no offense, I forget the names of the grapes. You probably will too. Just know that this is a very good wine. But Vinho Verdes, the Vinho Verde whites, generally have to come from indigenous grapes to Portugal. And they have different names that you would probably never hear of. Names I will post so that you, if you're really wanting to educate yourself on the type of grape that's in this wine, I'll put the text sheet out there for you and you can have at it. But in terms of what a general Vinho Verde looks like, it is usually about 6 indigenous white grapes from the northern region in Portugal. And the blend of the grapes can vary. For example, the one that I'm blending or showing you today is a blend of only 4 of different grapes. So there's some poetic license, so to speak, in what exactly will go into the bottle. One of the features that you'll find of a Vinho Verde, and this isn't always true, is that they will carbonate them. And they used to do it naturally, but with commercialization, they now put a little fizz in them. So it's kind of like a poor man's bubbly, for lack of a better term, and they are fantastic picnic wines. And I'm sure there are a number of you out there this coming weekend who are going to be at some kind of picnic. And I would urge you, if you have time this week, and that's why I'm doing this spot today, is that you go out and find yourself some of this and take it to your picnic or just have it for yourself. So let me talk about our very first one, this one called Aveleda. It is my favorite Vinho Verde. It means green wine. I have had them others. This is a 2020 vintage. It's a very, very, you can see, you should probably serve this chilled. This is one white wine because if it has the bubbles. You can serve around 46 to 50 degrees, which is basically chilled. You can see my glass, if you can see it closely. Does have a little condensation on it. And let me give you a little bit of background on the flavor profile. Very light on the nose. Has a little tinge of sweetness. But that's not a bad thing because it's balanced. It does not hit you as a sweet wine. It's got grapefruit on it. It's got lime. It's got basically a major citrus profile. It is really the quintessential sipper. I always tell you this, and you're probably getting tired of hearing me say it, but this will go well any time of the year. If you really like light white wines, you can drink it all year. I don't have any rules about that. I'm just telling you that in the heat of the summer and at a nice picnic on a warm day, this will go down very, very well. For other general information about the wine, I already told you it's slightly effervescent, and that's due to it being carbonated. It's not real big. It's not as bubbly as a champagne, but you will notice the effervescence on it when you drink it. I think it's a positive trait for the wine. And it's one that is readily available here in Pennsylvania. It's available if you shop in Delaware at Total Wine. For those of you that are listening well beyond the borders of Pennsylvania, this is a very, very high volume, high sold wine across the country. So it's very, very easy for you to find. So my suggestion for you is that you go out and find this wine as your opener for Labor Day. If you can't wait till Labor Day, you can go get it tomorrow and start your sipping now. So before I leave that one more swallow. Big time lemon. That is so refreshing. And with that said, before I leave it behind, Aveleda Fonte Vino Verde, $10. I'll say it again, $10. Best $10 picnic wine you may ever have. $10 in PA Wine and Spirits. Some places, if you shop in supermarkets, they may have it as well. I just get it at the PA Wine and Spirits. It's always available. Good luck in your search for this one. So let me bring out our next wine. And we're going to move into Rosé. Remember, we always go white, Rosé, and then red. That's the way I like to do it. Again, you can do what you want. Now this Rosé, I have to confess, I haven't found yet in the PA Wine and Spirits stores. But it is from one of my favorite local wineries. They ship very inexpensively. And again, after I'm done with the segment, I'll post for you where you can find it yourself. I know that Galen Glen, this is from Galen Glen, and I know that these wines are available in some supermarkets. They're available in some of the PA Wine and Spirit stores. For you folks outside of PA, this one might be a little bit tough for you to get. But after I describe the wine, I'm going to tell you that if you can find this grape and the combination of it elsewhere, because they're not the only one that makes a rosé of this style. So let's first of all talk about the winery. Galen Glen is a winery about an hour from me, nestled up in the hills of Lehigh County, north of here, in a small town called Andres. And they've been in business for a couple decades now, and they make fantastic wine. They feature wines that are more suited to Austria, Germany, things like Riesling, things like Zweigelt, which is in here, Gruner Veltliner. They also do some Chardonnay now, and they have also ventured into doing some bubblies. So I'll post about them, and for those of you that live around here and you're looking for a day trip in the fall when the leaves start to turn, fantastic day trip to go to Galen Glen Winery in the Lehigh Valley Wine Trail, because there are other stops along the way that you really could make a day of it. So let's talk about this wine. This is a rosé. Just recently purchased it. Took a little trip with my son and my wife, and we, along with his girlfriend, went up to spend a day up at Galen Glen. We hadn't been there in a while. And this 2020 rosé that they're featuring is a blend of a grape called Zweigelt and a little bit of Gruner Veltliner added into it to give it a little crispness. So let me pause for a minute, and I will do a little bit of background on these grapes, but not too much. But while I think about that, let me just show you again. Serve this chilled. Beautiful color in the glass. A little bit of light strawberry on the nose. Bone dry, but it's got a beautiful palate. A little bit of violet. Ooh, wow. I'm so glad I bought this. I only bought 2, so I might have to get back. So, in this glass is a combination of the grape called Zweigelt and Gruner Veltliner. Gruner Veltliner is generally a white. Zweigelt is a red. That's what's giving this wine its color. Zweigelt, if you could see my little chart up here, my little chemistry chart, Zweigelt's up there. It's a little bit higher, which means those wines are lighter. As you come down that chart, the wines tend to get a little bit heavier. This is a light red that is native to Austria. And I took a trip to Austria a couple years ago, and I was in the Wachau Valley where this is grown. Fantastic grape. I mean, it is all over the place, and it has been imported here, and Glen is perfectly suited to its cultivation and producing wines with it. Makes a fantastic red. If you are, energetic and want to go into the PA Wine and Spirits, or you want to go to another source, look up a Zweigelt. And again, I'll post a little bit of information on that for you. It makes a fantastic rosé. It makes a very easy drinking, low tannin red wine that'll pair with just about anything. So that's this wine by Galen in Andres, Pennsylvania. You know how much I love rosé, gentlemen and ladies. This, I'm speechless. For one of the few times in my life, this wine is really, really good. And I'm going to tell you, I know you might not be able to get this, but if you can find a nice rosé, I'm just going to say it again, go off script there a little bit, for your picnic this weekend, you won't be sorry. If you can happen to find a Zweigelt rosé, go for it, because this is fantastic. So let's put that one aside, and we'll move into the big guys now. Set that aside. Have that for later. So now let's break out the reds. Today's red comes to us from a winery in the region called Galicia in northwestern Spain. And as a former Spanish teacher, I'm very careful when we pronounce that name. That C before an I is pronounced like a TH. So you may say Galicia. Spaniards from Spain, they say Galicia. And that's where this wine is from. Now, I unfortunately was unable to find a tech sheet for this wine. But the grape that's in the glass here is a grape called Mencia. And it's spelled Mencia. And this particular wine was pointed out to me by a good wine drinking buddy recently. And I said, I think I'm going to feature that in my next Wines of the Week feature. And voila, here it is. Now, the Mencia grape is known for being a very dark red. If you look at this glass, I can't see through this. I mean, it's opaque. It has a beautiful floral nose. It's known for its floral and red fruit, cherry, strawberry, blackberry, violet. And I can tell you, all of that is going on in the glass here. It is absolutely a wonderful wine. I have had Mencia wine before. I have never had this one from Marques de Toro. And this wine is available in Pennsylvania, and that's the only place I know where you can get Mencia other places. Total Wine has a great selection. You can go online, Wine Access. It is an available grape, but Mencia is grown only in Spain. I have not heard of it being cultivated anywhere outside of the Galicia region in northwestern Spain. But it's the profile of the grape. It's a soft wine. It's got low tannins. It's very similar in profile. And if you look up here in the chart, you'd see it's very close to Cabernet Franc, and also very close to Pinot Noir. And when you're reading this chart, you're always going horizontally and vertically based on acid and tannin, and then the weight of the wine. And as you get down to the bottom of that chart, you're dealing with your big wines like Cabs and Syrahs and things like that. So let's talk about this wine a little bit more, but not before I give it a try. Beautiful, beautiful floral nose. My buddy was right. This wine is fantastic. Not much oak on it. Very low tannin. This is a red that'll go pretty well just with the glass. But I can tell you, you would do well to pair this with anything that you like to pair your big red wines with. This would probably even go well with a piece of salmon. I don't know how many of you have ever tried that yet, but a nice broiled or grilled piece of salmon with some nice pepper and other spices on it would be fantastic with this red wine. So this wine is available, and I have to, little side note here, it's available in PA in something that PA does called the Chairman's Selection. And what PA does is they import all these wines. PA is one of the biggest wine merchants on the planet because the state store system controls the whole deal. That's a whole nother story. But when you go to buy wines from PA, you want to look at those. For those of you who are my PA friends, don't skip those boxes that are on the floor, because most of these wines don't actually make it to their shelf space. They just put them right in the cartons, cut a spot out, put a little sign up, and say, here it is. This is how much it costs. This is what it tastes like, etc., etc. This is one of those. So I'm going to tell you, if you want to try to get some of this, go get it now, because these Chairman Selections, they come and they go. And I would recommend that you, when you see these Chairman Selections, buy a couple if you think you're going to like it. So this wine is available in PA, Chairman Selection. Are you ready for this? $9 a bottle. I told you before, you don't have to spend a lot of money on wine. If you find a good, I'll tell you what, you put this in another expensive bottle and you'll think, oh my word. For you red wine lovers, you are going to snap up at least 3 of these. $9 a bottle? Come on. So, let's recap. We got the Aveleda tonight. White from Portugal. $10, PA Wine and Spirits. Galen Glen Rosé from Galen Glen Winery. You might find it somewhere on the shelves. $15 a bottle. It's a little more expensive usually when it comes from the winery. And finally, the Marques de Toro Mencia. $9 a bottle. Go get some. And if I don't do another spot with you before the Labor Day, I don't know which glass to celebrate with. So we'll do, since it's Labor Day and we're in America, we got red, white. Well, red, white. I don't have a blue, so we'll pretend that the pink is the blue. Happy Labor Day. God bless America. Cheers to all of you, and have a very safe and happy Labor Day. So until the next time, stay safe and enjoy.